this mirror, and it has been some time since my last recording. There has been, quote, a disturbance in the force, so to speak. The main thing I want to speak about today is I've noticed as watching this video and I realized how things are being turned against the idea of the people returning power to themselves via politics and society. As I've been watching this actually build over several months, but it is only now I decided it was time to say something. Recently, my computer has been hacked, and I have ways of knowing when my systems are compromised. But I left that system compromised on purpose, as Obi-Wan and Anakin in our Return of the Sith said sometimes you just have to let the trap spring itself. And it seems as the Sith have fought back, so to speak, in trying to sow confusion, which is their main thing. Confusion is the point. To create as much confusion so that way nobody knows what's really going on or they don't see it. And then that way they can also externalize and press themselves into other people. Basically, kind of almost a, even though Dr. Wolf has stated there is no such thing as a mass psychosis, I, from my own observations, will have to disagree. But you'll hear them say, persons who externalize, you'll hear them say facts, not feelings. They'll say it first when they're really speaking about themselves. And if they can get it out to a person who has heart, then it slows down the ability for that other person to to attack or to state or show what they're doing. As this, it is known with the Sith, an accusation by a Sith is a confession. So one of the things we're noticing is we as a group of people, well, hopefully you understand and see, as today ExxonMobil came out, there was a story about ExxonMobil lobbyist going after Christian cinema and viewing Christian cinema and Joe Manchin and another senator as being in their pocket, the moderate, quote, Democrats, working against their constituency. All of our processes, everything we've been putting forward, everything that's being put forward as far as infrastructure, has always been, hey, here, make some money, make lots of money, but you don't get to control the government. The government belongs to we the people, not you the few. And it's obvious now, because if it was just about making money, they would have gone along with a lot of these programs. Instead, they stripped the infrastructure bill of everything from climate change. Well, why? Because now it gives you a North Sea route. Russia wants this badly. They want the ice to melt across the North Arctic. So we're working into our near peers' hands. Lovely. It, it will cause chaos and weaken us as both a people and as a country, and then weaken the idea that the people can control our own government. The way they do this is by externalization and triangulation. Triangulation is, as I stated once, you have two different. You have externalization is okay. You have a person who's really cool, awesome person, great big heart. They make that person angry, and then they make that person look bad. So therefore, if they're angry and everyone's, oh my gosh, look how bad and angry they are, that implies that the person who caused the chaos is good, when it's the exact opposite. And then the person who's an honest person is trying to regain their honesty, or trying to re-show their honesty when it's it's been stolen. They steal your soul. I one of the things that I have seen personally in the you know is with African America as a culture, the very rich and powerful externalize the Sith lords of the rich, I should say, are externalizing their negatives onto African America. And they say these are the behaviors. And so it looks like, okay, well, if African America's acting horribly, so quote, what they would say was horribly, then they look better. This can be seen with, Gwen Berry. When you just look at her, just from this picture, just this picture here in Newsweek, to be that's she's extremely svelte, and to even get to the podium being that small in a hammer throw, which is extremely difficult. So she has amazing technique, that she is very good with that she has practiced to learn the subtleties, the fingertip feel of how to excel in her sport. And so she's not relying on just pure power and strength. Don't get me wrong, these other two ladies are extremely, probably just as good and just as powerful, but just from bodybuild, that tells me that. And something, one of the interviews, they said she said she didn't know they were going to start the anthem or whatever. If that's true, that's something that's fairly normal for them to do. To give you one bit of information and then give somebody else the other bit of information, then you create this story looking like this. And another thing was Little Nas X, when he put out these shoes, the timing was designed to pull away from something else. If you want to go back into that time when these came out on the 29th and review some of the videos or whatever that I was posting, it was designed to pull away emotionally from that. And then finally, this one was really bothersome because it was Jay-Z. Yeah, oh, and how he was selling out African America. He's made $1 billion, so that means he's been let through. But it doesn't make sense. It's not right. So you made $1 billion by crapping on your own people? Wow, that's awesome. But the final one is Chadwick Boseman's snub at Oscars. Now, don't get me wrong, where was it? The family wasn't upset or agitated. That's fine, yeah, because it's Anthony Hopkins. He is a master. He is definitely deserving, but it wasn't done. I mean, granted, it was done because he was deserving, but it was not done politically because he was deserving. They used Anthony Hopkins to once again crap on African Americans. And what this does is it takes middle America and it says, okay, middle America, this is the low end of your emotions, that what Africa America is. And then we're high end of your emotion, the Sith Lords. And so it gives the ability for European Americans to dump on African Americans, say, well, as long as I don't act like that. And that is what weakens anything. So when they're talking about we're taking our country back, or when the former president says the system is rigged, what they mean is it was rigged because you're not European Americans are supposed to win, even though they have not earned it. At cases, the reason they're going after critical race theory is even though it's a legal argument, the reason they're using a legal argument is it's been shown in courts, if you inform a person of their bias at the beginning, they will, because of Americans in general, we're about fairness. You go give a good fair fight. Hey man, you lost or you won, but you gave it, you're good to go. But if you remove the bias, and so it gives defendants that ability to have that good fight and that good go, which is the epitome of being American. So they're removing Americanism away from the Americans by doing this, by saying that and saying and these persons who are all upset, it's say about the critical race theory, it would the last president was saying the system is rigged. Well, they were saying it's rigged and you're supposed to win, and we don't want to hear about critical race theory because, well, then we would have to face the fact that we know it was rigged, that we didn't have that, and then it might imply that the gains they had weren't earned, which would create a lot of shame, and they don't want to feel that. All of this is designed to destroy the four-part infrastructure, especially human infrastructure, and also to exacerbate climate change, because we and then the worst part about the last quote bipartisan deal with that infrastructure bill is it took we they're giving away the commons, they're giving away infrastructure that we've already paid for to the private, and that means to the private companies, which means we've already paid for it. We the people have already paid for it. Why are we giving it away? To pay for the fact that they don't want their taxes raised, so that way they have to give their fair share for being an American company or coming out, and then all the good that comes out of being an American, but they don't want to put back into that, so that way we grow even more so. We have China and other countries that are about to kick our ass, and we're still dealing with our own racism, and we're being played by the Sith. One thing that was cool about this video is it said, later on, Luke Skywalker was the one who told the Republic that Mace Windu never fell to the dark. But what I
Skywalker would later restore the reputation of Mace Windu, cementing to everybody that Mace Windu had never fallen to the dark side of the Force, and that he was one of the main heroes of the Clone Wars conflict.
so understand what's going on and how they are using or manipulating the situation from a real-time situation. If they could devalue everything that I'm saying, then if I disappear, it's considered not a loss from the wider galaxy, so to speak. And Abeloth wins. For that is now who is the main antagonist. I wish you well. This is Morpheus Mirror. May peace be the growth of your heart. And may the force be with you.